Division. Division. Division is the best tool that any enemy can use against their opponents. It's division. Propaganda, pushing narratives, all that kind of stuff. Here in Northern Ireland, we have multiple flags flying all over the place. All over the place. In loyalist areas, we have the Union Jack. We have other flags supporting groups from back in the 80s, 90s, 70s. And in Republican areas, we have flags flying and supporting other groups, etc., etc. Tribalism. Division. Division. Now, in my opinion, the only flags that should be flying in Northern Ireland, regardless of what the history is and whatever else, probably the only two flags should be the Northern Irish flag and the UK flag. Because we are part of the UK. Whether you like it or you don't, I know there's people there that hate it and whatever else. But whether you like it or you don't, we're part of the United Kingdom. And the other flags that we see are the Israeli flag. So you'll see an Israeli flag flying. You'll see an Israeli flag flying in loyalist areas. And you'll see a Palestinian flag flying in Republican areas. You'll also see the ridiculous flags, the LGBT alphabet brigade flags flying in other areas. Now those flags you might see in both areas. You might see those flags in both areas. You're more likely to see them in other certain areas. But we shouldn't be flying any of those flags. We shouldn't be flying the Israeli flag. We shouldn't be flying the Palestinian flag. We shouldn't be flying the Iranian flag. We shouldn't be flying any other flag other than the flags of our own people, of our own country. Nothing else. Nothing else. The Islamic State, Islam detests we people in the West. They detest Christianity. They detest everything that we stand for. The Israeli flag, they don't have much love for us either. They have little to no love for us. You know, the Talmud teaches that our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, is burning in hell, in shit, in excrement. Now, I don't care what either of these two ideologies stroke religions believe in, or whatever else. But the fact of the matter is, they are so far detached from who we are here in the West. And I don't understand why we accommodate those flags here in Northern Ireland. We shouldn't be flying those flags in Northern Ireland. Not at all. Not for a second. Not for a second. It doesn't benefit us to fly those flags, other than they have this tribalistic kind of extra separation point. I think all those flags should be pulled down. Now, I used to kind of blindly support Israel. I think that what happened on October 7th was heinous, absolutely heinous. And I think that Hamas and anybody that supports Hamas should be obliterated. That's my view. That's my view. They should be completely wiped off the face of the earth because they're nothing but evil, cowardly dogs. In my view. Then, I've done a lot of research since. A lot of people say to me, but no, you're not looking at this and you're not looking at that. And okay. I'll look at all these other things. And I did. I looked at all these other things. So I researched the Talmud. I researched the Torah. I researched Christianity in the West Bank. I researched Christianity in general in Israel. And what I found was just absolutely horrific. Absolutely horrific. And that was kind of hidden from the West. That was hidden from the West. Completely hidden from the West. It's hidden from the textbooks. We're taught about the Holocaust. We're taught about the Holocaust. We're all taught about the Holocaust. And I'm sure in Catholic schools they teach about the Holocaust. In Protestant schools they teach about the Holocaust. In general, the education system will touch on the Holocaust at some point. They'll touch on the Holocaust at some point. But they never touch on the Bolshevik genocide. They never touch on the Holodomor, or the Holodomor, whatever you call it, whatever it is, or the Armenian genocide, or the attacks on Christianity, Christians, churches, etc., in Israel. There's plenty of stuff out there easily found on how Islam and radical Islamists have attacked Christians, beheaded Christians, and done all that stuff. Horrific, disgusting, cowardly dogs. Again, that's in my opinion. That's in my opinion. This is all used to push a narrative. It's propaganda. It's there to keep us divided. I think what they fear most, in my opinion again, is they fear you and I, Christians, white Europeans, actually realizing who our true enemies are. And our true enemies are those who want to eradicate us, those who want to flood our lands with multiculturalism. Let's call it multiculturalism. Those who want to destroy everything that we are. Because they see us as the biggest threat. They see us as the biggest threat. And we're not a threat to them. We're not a threat to them. We just want to be left alone. There was a thing. There's nothing worse than the wrath of a man who just wants to be left alone. I just want my daughter to have a safe country to grow up in. A safe world to grow up in. I want my son to have I want your kids to have a safe country, a prosperous country. I want them to do well. I want my kids and your kids to do well. I want my wife to be safe. I don't want our free speech curtailed by a corrupt government who are hell-bent on pushing whatever narratives suits whatever agenda they're pushing, be it the 2030 agenda and all that stuff, climate crisis, net zero, etc., etc. So let's look back. Yes, October 7th was heinous and everything else, and Israel had a right to respond, absolutely. And they should have went in surgically and removed Hamas and attacked Hamas wherever they were a threat. But what they have done, and look at Lebanon, it's never really on the news. They've attacked Christianity in Lebanon, Christians in Lebanon. They've demolished their homes, they've demolished churches, they've demolished Christ on the cross, they've done whatever they've done. Now, whenever you call out Israel, you're not calling out Judaism. You're not calling out Jews, individual Jews. You're questioning Netanyahu, his behaviour, and the behaviour of the IDF, who appears to me are allowed just to commit war crimes unadulterated, just anytime they want, just crack on and do it, and say, but because we seen them as a threat, so we attacked them first. It's mental. It's completely mental. It's completely mental. Everybody has a right to defend themselves. Everybody has a right to defend themselves. Everybody has a right to defend their homes. Everybody has a right to defend their families. And they have a right to defend those who can't defend themselves. The world is in a really, really sorry state. I don't think that Trump should have been helping Israel. I think that Trump should be America first. I think that Keir Starmer, for all of his failings and the useless whore that he is, he should be putting the UK first. I think any leader of a country should put their country first, not other countries, not foreign aid. Foreign aid is something that should stop, in my opinion. Foreign aid shouldn't exist. It shouldn't exist, especially whenever we have people who are living from paycheck to paycheck, from a weekly payment. And if they had a bill that come up for £1,000 or £2,000, they couldn't afford it. And those people are working. Those people are classed as middle class. They should be focusing on their own people. And that's it. I haven't done a video for ages, but I've just been that perplexed and annoyed with everything that's going on, and trying my best not to be biased on anything. But I can see the wrongs. My eyes can see the wrongs. My ears can hear the wrongs. It's not that there's any bias there, because I have no hatred towards individual Muslims. I have no hatred towards Jewish people. I have no hatred towards Judaism. I don't have any hatred towards any of these people at all. Yes, I disagree with their holy books. Absolutely. As a Christian, I do. I absolutely disagree with it. But at the same time, I don't hate them. I don't hate them. You should always be confident enough to ask questions. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. Have you noticed that any time you do ask a question now, you're immediately an anti-Semite, or you're an Islamophobe, or a transphobe? I've collected all of these now at this stage, because I kind of question all of this stuff. We all need to wake up. We all need to wake up. You know, we've all woke up with the COVID stuff and the hantavirus and monkeypox and all that shit. None of us really fall for that shit anymore. So they're moving on to different things now. They'll always bring another crisis to hide what it is that they're doing. Hantavirus. Look at the Disney ship. 28 members of staff being investigated for paedophilic activity. Yeah, that's not plastered all over the news. But the hantavirus is. A tummy bug. It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So yeah, I don't have any hate for anybody individually because of their beliefs or anything else. You know, but you just need to take things for how your eyes see them and your ears hear it. What Israel are doing in Palestine and Gaza is horrific. What they're doing in Lebanon is horrific. It's war crimes. It's as simple as that. What the Hamas people did is absolute war crimes, and they should all be held to the harshest account. What I would do to them, I can't talk about here. We all need to realize that we need to stand together. Us here in the West, white, Christian, Europeans. Now I know there's black people and brown people and all that kind of stuff that have lived here for years and assimilated and all that kind of stuff. I am not kind of discounting them at all. I'm talking about us as a people of these nations. And there's nothing wrong with doing that either. You're not racist for focusing on your own people. It's absolutely insane. But it all boils down to division. They want to keep us divided. They want to keep us divided on the likes of these social media platforms. They want to keep us divided in everyday life, because if we're fighting with each other, we won't focus on what they're doing. And I mean the likes of the International Monetary Fund and how they're ruining the value of our currencies, and we're all running about with fiat money, and you know, it's such a deep, dark rabbit hole that it's very, very difficult to get out of Very difficult to get out of. I actually wish that I never went down any of these rabbit holes. I miss being ignorant. I miss my ignorance. I really do miss my ignorance. They say ignorance is bliss. But I think in this instance, we all need to realise we're not each other's enemies. We need to stand together against a global wrong. A global wrong. That's it, really.